Chapter 12. Chance meeting. Looking left, to the front, to the right, up, and then back to the rest of the group, Blankenship saw that things were relaxing. The group's movements had become very unorganized. There were no longer 3 groups, and for the 3rd time he called back, "Stay in your assigned groups. We're not out of danger yet." He looked down at Kaylee by his side as they walked along. "How you doing, Kaylee?" He hoped that she would finally reply with more than simple body language, but he only received a look that he assumed meant good to go. While they walked, he watched all around, each movement in the area catching his eyes and drawing his attention to its direction. For hours now, most of what he saw were former pets. With the sun high in the sky, Blankenship could feel the heat beating down on them. He thought about how it was going to be a hot summer as sweat dripped from under his police-issued vest. Then he thought of how he used to focus the vents on his squad car to his chest, chilling the material so that when he exited, it would keep him cool for a short period of time. That wasn't the case any longer, and as he had many times before, he thought of what had been lost. Sorrow filled him until he put all of his attention into the here and now. His focus brought with it the sound of clanking gear and boots. That was followed by shouts in a language he didn't understand. What he did understand was the gunfire that erupted immediately thereafter. "Run!" he told the others as he raised his rifle and dragged Kaylee to a nearby pile of bricks for cover. The 3 others in his group wasted no time doing the same. After checking to ensure that Kaylee was okay, Blankenship looked back and swallowed a large lump that instantly formed in his throat. More of the people who had followed him lay dead or dying rather than returning fire. Those with weapons fired as those who had none attempted to retrieve one from others, struck down by the opening volley. Not hearing or feeling any bullets striking nearby, Blankenship believed they hadn't seen his group and felt that was an advantage to be used. Looking around at the others as they tried to become part of the pile of bricks, Blankenship ordered in a light but demanding voice, "You stay here and keep Kaylee safe." As he went to move away, he felt Kaylee's small hand holding on and not turning loose. Looking into her little face, he could feel her begging him to not go, but he knew that the only remaining choice was to let the others die, and that was a choice he couldn't live with. "I'll be back," he said to her, feeling as if he were in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. As Kaylee let go, he looked for the next spot that would provide cover, pushing Kaylee from his mind. Keeping a watch out for more Chinese, Blankenship followed a wide half-circular path to position himself to attack from the side. When he was almost to the point he wanted to be, he began to have a harder time finding sufficient cover as he ran from one spot to the next. A little more, he thought. He saw only a small tree that wouldn't provide a lot of cover, but was in a perfect spot from which to fire. As he pictured his next move, he took 3 quick breaths with his eyes closed. Clearing his mind of anything but what he had to do, his eyes opened and his body went into motion. The 30 feet to the tree seemed more like 100 as he prayed none of them saw his final movement. When he was close enough, he dove for the ground at the tree's base, which was much like sliding into home plate. Wasting no time, Blankenship brought the rifle up to his shoulder and took aim on the first enemy he spotted, a task made easy due to the sheer number of them. With only a little hesitation, he began pulling the trigger, taking out 1, 2, then a 3rd. By then, many of the others had realized what was happening and quickly redirected their fire in his direction as more troops, previously unseen to him, came around the house. With bullets striking the ground all around him, Blankenship continued to fire, wishing he could sink farther down into the earth for cover. Wiggling side to side, hoping to dodge the many bullets coming his way, his rifle bolt locked open, empty. Knowing he would be overrun within seconds, he reached for another magazine, rolling onto his side to draw it from its pouch. He felt a sharp sting of pain in his side, and wondered if it had been a bee or a bullet. There was no time to waste checking, and he assumed that with his current state of affairs, it was most likely the latter. Slapping the full magazine into the weapon, Blankenship pressed the bolt release and once again began firing without time to take aim, as at least 5 had closed in on his position. As he killed the first one, everything slowed down. He realized that he wasn't going to be able to keep his word to Kaylee. He understood at that point that he wasn't going back.